Imagine waking up one morning and being told you have exactly 45 days to fall in love. If you fail, you don't get another chance. You get turned into an animal of your choosing and set loose into the wild forever. This is the strange and terrifying world of a man named David. David has just been left by his wife. He walks into a place called the hotel, carrying only a suitcase and his brother, who is now a dog. That's right. His brother failed the same test years ago and became a dog to survive. At the front desk, David is asked one simple, chilling question. What animal would you like to become if you fail to find love in time? He thinks for a moment. Most people choose something obvious, a dog, a horse, something familiar. David chooses a lobster. He explains his reasons calmly. Lobsters live for over 100 years, they stay fertile their whole lives, and their blood is the same color as human blood. It's a small detail, but it tells you everything about how he thinks. Logical, guarded, quietly desperate to be practical about something completely irrational. The hotel is not what you'd expect. It looks elegant, calm, almost peaceful. But underneath that calm is a set of brutal, absurd rules. Every guest must find a partner within 45 days or be transformed and released into the woods. There's no room for nuance here either. Couples must be matched on a single defining trait, nothing more. David quickly meets two other guests. One man walks with a permanent limp, so he lies and pretends to have frequent nosebleeds, hoping to match with a woman who also gets nosebleeds. Another man has a lisp, quiet, awkward, always on the edge of every conversation. He befriends David almost instantly, drawn together by shared anxiety about the clock running out. Every day at the hotel follows a strict, almost robotic routine. Guests attend lectures on the dangers of being single, staged skits meant to scare them into pairing up. In one skit, a woman eats alone and chokes to death because no one is there to save her. The message is blunt and constant. Being alone will kill you. But there is a second, darker rule to this world. Guests can earn extra days by hunting. Somewhere out in the nearby forest, a group of people live completely alone. They are called loners, and they've rejected the entire system of forced coupling. Each night, hotel guests are given tranquilizer guns and sent into the woods. For every loner they capture, they earn one extra day to find love. David watches this hunt unfold around him, uneasy but participating. He sees people he barely knows chase down strangers just to buy themselves more time. Desperate as his deadline closes in, David notices a woman known for her total lack of empathy. She's cold, detached, utterly unaffected by suffering around her. David decides to fake being just like her. He begins pretending he feels nothing either, mirroring her coldness to win her attention. It works, disturbingly well. The two begin a relationship built entirely on performance. David forces himself to appear indifferent to pain, even his own. Then comes the test that breaks everything. The woman decides to see how far his coldness truly goes, and stages her own brother's suffering in front of him. David does not react. He passes her test, but something inside him is now dangerously off balance. Soon after, David makes the mistake of hurting someone he loves, his brother, the dog, right in front of her. She discovers the horrifying truth. His empathy was never gone. It was just hidden, buried under fear of becoming a lobster. Furious at being deceived, she decides to punish him. She has him nearly transformed on the spot, threatening to turn him into an animal right there in his hotel room. David barely escapes. He flees into the forest, the one place hotel guests are taught to fear the most. He runs straight into the world of the loners, the very people he was trained to hunt just days earlier. Life among the loners is not the safe alternative it seems. Their rules are just as strict, just as unforgiving, only inverted completely. Where the hotel demands you find a partner, the loners demand you stay alone forever. Flirting is forbidden. Romantic connection of any kind is punished, brutally. Their leader enforces this with cold, absolute authority. Breaking her rules doesn't mean transformation, it means physical mutilation. Despite this, David begins spending time with a woman known for her sharp, precise eyesight. She's quiet, watchful, and immediately different from anyone else he's met. Slowly, carefully, without ever saying it aloud, David and the short-sighted woman fall in love. It's the one thing neither system allows. Not the forced coupling of the hotel, and not the enforced isolation of the forest. They develop a secret language instead. Small gestures, subtle glances, silent signals only the two of them understand. They plan trips into the city together, pretending to run errands, just to steal a few private moments alone. For the first time in the entire story, David seems genuinely happy. Careful, guarded happiness, but real. Of course, in this world, happiness never lasts long without consequence. The loner leader eventually discovers their secret relationship. Her punishment is swift and horrifyingly specific to their crime. She has the short-sighted woman's eyesight destroyed, blinding her completely. It's meant to break the bond between her and David instantly. But David refuses to let go. If she can no longer see, he decides he won't either. The loner leader, still not finished, tries to force David into betraying his brother, the dog, echoing the same test his first partner once used against him. David hesitates. The story pulls tight here, testing exactly how far his love and his guilt are willing to go. Eventually, the two escape the forest together, blind woman and desperate man, fleeing into the city with nowhere sanctioned by either system to belong. They arrive at a quiet roadside diner. Ordinary, plain, almost eerily normal after everything they've been through. David sits across from her, staring at his own reflection in a butter knife. He picks up a fork instead, hesitates. He stares directly at his own eyes. The scene lingers on his hand, trembling slightly, hovering just inches from his own face. He gets up. He walks to the bathroom, alone, carrying that decision with him. The film ends without ever showing us his choice. We're left staring at an empty table. Her, waiting quietly across from where he sat today. Is he blinding himself to match her, to prove his love is real, even without a rulebook forcing him to? Or does he finally choose himself, and walk away, leaving her sitting there in that dim, quiet diner? The story never tells you. It simply lets the silence sit there, unresolved, exactly like real love often is. That ambiguous, aching final shot is the whole point of the film. Love here was never safe, never simple, never guaranteed by any system. It was chosen, quietly, painfully, against every rule built to prevent it. And whether David proves that choice with his own eyes, or walks away from it entirely, that decision belongs only to him.